Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm privileged to welcome a very senior corporate leader from Peru, Manolo Vega. Manolo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Manolo is the chairman of REF, which is a global organization of peer advisory boards for business leaders with exceptional backgrounds. So, Manolo, we are bringing REF to India. So, this conversation is really going to be about REF and what are your plans for India. But for our viewers and listeners, my first question is basic. What exactly is REF and what is its core purpose?
So REF, formerly known as Renaissance Executive Forums, is a peer-to-peer advisory boards for exclusively for business leaders, that is CEOs, chairmen, business owners around the world. It's an organization that was founded 35 years ago in California, in San Diego, California.
Mhm. And what is a forum in REF and how does it operate in practice?
A forum is basically a group of 12 to 15 business leaders, CEOs from different industries. There can be no competitors in a group, in a
Mhm.
forum. And this group is conformed by business leaders who are invited to be part of the group. Each person needs to be approved by all the others in order to be part of that group. And the group meets for half a day a month in a confidential setting. And it's a space where basically these business leaders can bring their most pressing issues, those that keep them up at night,
Mhm.
uh, and they bring them to the rest be on his or her shoes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how are meetings structured? And what typically happens during a monthly session?
Okay, so meetings usually run in the morning. There's some that run also in the afternoon, but usually run in the morning from 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. And the meeting is divided in three segments of approximately an hour and a half each. In the first one, the group has a conversation around a topic of interest to the group,
Mhm.
an expert that is invited over to have that conversation with the group. These topics can be related to business, to personal, or to a situation that is a political situation or economic situation in the country. After 1 hour, hour and a half, the invited person leaves the group, and then the group stays for what we call cases. Between 1 and 3 members bring their most pressing issue in a very structured format, and if the case is processed within the group. And if time permits, there's a space where the members share best practices around how to lead their companies or even their lives.
Mhm. And tell me, how does participation in a forum translate into real personal and business growth? And if you have any examples, that would help.
Sure. So what happens here is that when members bring their cases, their issues, usually a ref case is a case where there's a lot of emotion or decision, right? Or time. So members usually are very invested in terms of emotion and time. So in situations like that, people we usually not see very clearly. With our vision's a little blurred by
Mm,
emotions.
mm,
So so when they bring their cases, these other members who are external to that situation, are not involved directly in that situation, usually come up with ideas and with perspectives that in most occasions open the eyes of the person who's bringing the case
mm,
to different angles and different perspectives. And that generates awareness, not only in things that are related to the case in hand, but also awareness in how these people are leading their lives or leading their companies.
mm,
It brings light into blind spots, possible
mm,
blind spots. So
mm,
this increased awareness that you get not only by bringing your own case, but also by processing cases from other members in your group.
mm.
It keeps building up your awareness, your self-awareness, and that is a key part of,
Absolutely.
of, of growth, of personal and business growth. And
Mm,
then once you become more aware, you want to align your life or your business with that you are now aware of, right?
mm,
So that is what we call internally going to the next level. We
mm.
always, as business leaders and as people, as persons, we want to go to a next level.
Correct.
So the group helps you not only become aware, but also go to that next level through the feedback on,
Mm,
on, on how to process that issue that you're bringing. So increased awareness and alignment are
mm,
the two levers by which people gain personal growth and
mm.
professional growth.
Thank you. And what kind of companies and leaders are part of REF globally? And what common qualities unite these companies and individuals?
So we are a membership organization composed of business leaders from, I would say, mostly large and middle-sized companies, medium companies
Mm,
in terms of size, but we also welcome business leaders from smaller companies, maybe tech related, or that are starting a growth path, right?
mm,
An interesting growth path, right? So we don't only look at the company size, we also look at the person, really,
mm,
because this is a group, more of a group of companies. It's a group of people, right?
mm,
Of business leaders. Um, we are present in more than 25 countries now. Of course, the largest country is the US, which is where the company started, like I mentioned, um, 35 years ago. And what members have in common, I would say it's first of all, the willingness to
mm,
share their best practices, to share their knowledge, their know-how. We firmly believe um, that when we share in a group, in a closed group, in an environment of trust, of
mm,
confidentiality, of transparency, which is what we actually have in these groups, we this becomes not only a peer-to-peer advisory board, this becomes a circle of trust,
mm,
really. So when people share, we grow faster, we move faster, right? So
mm,
sharing is one of the common components here. And the other one is lifelong learning. We want people who believe in lifelong learning, who really want to strive to become the best version of themselves, and to people who have a holistic view of what what success means, not only in business, but also at a personal level. And lastly, I would mention open-mindedness. We
mm,
need to people who really value more seeing reality than being right in a way, right?
Hmm.
Without open-mindedness, we don't grow.
Correct. Correct. Well said. And Manolo, what differentiates REF from other leadership and peer learning platforms like YPO or EO?
Yeah, so there are several platforms that are also composed by business leaders.
Hmm.
We are certainly one of the global ones. I would say that our strong point is the forum
Correct.
itself.
Correct.
We believe that we have the strongest forum out of all.
Yeah.
That is our strong point. Others maybe have a stronger network of global events. In our case, I would say that our forum is what differentiates us.
Hmm.
They are professionally led by what we call forum leaders who are certified in the methodology. So
Hmm.
having a professional facilitator, certified facilitator that leads the discussions in the groups, we believe it makes us different.
Hmm. Amazing. And REF's philosophy is leaders powered by collective intelligence. How does this work in real life?
Yes, and that is our tagline. And by the way, we are in next year we are launching a next version of that tagline,
Hmm.
which is going to be leaders powered by collective wisdom.
Okay. Very good.
And but it's been for quite some time leaders powered by collective intelligence.
Hmm.
And we so so we think that when you get a group of 12 business leaders from different industries together
Hmm.
in an environment of trust and confidentiality, amazing things happen.
Correct.
We as business leaders have, of course, we might have consultants or advisors or even friends, close friends, and we can bring those most pressing issues. Uh, but what happens is that, first of all, socially, many times we don't get into those deep deep
Hmm.
conversations in a controlled environment, right? And with our advisors, even if they're very experienced advisors, we can get a very well-intentioned opinion, but it's one aspect, it's
Hmm.
one perspective, right? And however, when you get a group of 12 focused on how to face a delicate situation, something very interesting happens is that you
Hmm.
get perspectives that are very different because each of us have our own experiences, our own views based on what we have lived.
Hmm.
And when you have different ways of tackling a situation,
Hmm.
you you start seeing opportunities, risks, and 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 you and situations that are very difficult to see
Hmm.
with your own eyes, right?
Hmm.
So having that more holistic perspective from different angles and putting it together in order to make a better decision, that holistic view we call collective intelligence, which
Hmm.
we're taking now to collective
Wisdom.
wisdom,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, for us, wisdom basically is metabolized experience, is
Hmm.
experience you have internalized,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And that is really the angle that people come from in a forum.
Hmm.
From we in this age where artificial intelligence is
Hmm.
so ubiquitous and so present, we think that at the end of the day, when we're thinking of what happens in a forum, we realize that it's more collective wisdom than collective
Mm,
intelligence.
amazing. Manoj, you're now entering India. What is your strategic vision for REF in India over the next 5 years?
So we believe that India it's a country that has enormous potential
Mm,
in many of course in many aspects, and one of them being the development of the business community and business
correct.
leaders. Um, and it's a country where we definitely wanted to be there we wanted to be part of the
Mm,
development of that business community.
right.
Um, at the end of the day, what this awareness and alignment generates really is business leaders that are more conscious, right? That we believe that when business leaders are more conscious are better connected, they become a positive force in the world.
Mm,
It is in many parts of the world, the business community has earned a not a very good name, right?
correct.
And we believe that is in a big part due to having business leaders that are not very conscious.
Mm,
And we see the transformation of our members in time, becoming more conscious and becoming
correct.
really better, not only better leaders, better
Mm,
person,
better
right? Better
humans.
person,
Yes. Yes.
better humans. So we definitely wanted to be part of that process in India. Our view is that there's a enormous potential for REF in India.
Mm,
Our plan is to grow there, but not necessarily. We're not in a rush. We don't want to just grow for the sake of growth. We
correct.
want to be very selective in the way we 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 grow in India. Um, we believe that we have a plan to reach 2,000 members in 5 years.
Yeah,
It is, I think, a very doable target. And so we are very excited. We're very
absolutely.
excited.
Yeah, India offers incredible potential in the professional space, in the startup space, and in the entrepreneurial space. But my
Yeah.
next question for you, Manolo, is how will REF ensure that its value proposition resonates with Indian business leaders who may already have access to strong professional networks?
So we do face whenever we enter a country, and we're now in the Americas, of course, the US being the largest country, like I said before, all the Americas, we're in Europe, we're already in Singapore, and whenever we enter a country, we face many times the similar objections initially, right?
Mm,
I already have an advisors. We are in a city where everybody knows each other. So why would I be part of a
yeah,
group like this if I already have my friends?
correct.
Um, and what happens is that, yeah, we all have advisors, but many companies already have a board of directors, for
Mm,
example, right? But what happens is that having most of the issues that are brought to a forum, a ref forum, are not brought to a necessarily to a board of directors. A board of directors is usually very, there's a lot of accountability going on, a lot of reporting from the CEO reporting to the board is different. Our forums are more casuistic. There are cases. And in terms of advisors, like I said before, at the end of the day, advisors they sell their services,
yeah,
their consulting services. Yeah, and that actually generates of course, advisors want to sell their services.
mm,
Many times that doesn't generate a very external and not interested
Mm, mm, mm.
advice.
Yeah.
And it's not a, you don't tap into collective intelligence. It's
Mm,
again, so we, our members all have, many have advisors that they use mostly for technical issues.
mm.
Uh, in our forums, we don't see when issues are too technical, members usually tell each other to just go to advisor, get the technical
Yeah.
input, and then come back for the final decision to the forum, right?
Mm.
So our groups, what is discussed is mostly strategic issues
Yeah.
where technical data, it's an input, but at the end of the day, they need to press a button, yes or no, or A, B, or C options, and that is when they bring the issue to their forum.
Mm. Amazing. What opportunities will members in India have to connect and collaborate globally through REF's network and events?
We do have an array of events that are global.
Mm.
Um, we have what we call the one-on-ones, where members who are facing a situation that require someone with a specific know-how can go to our app, look for members with that superpower,
Mm.
that
Mm.
know-how, and contact them directly. We have unique experiences around the world. Um, just recently, I was seeing pictures of our last event, which was in
Yeah.
Bali, an amazing retreat for
Mm.
members around the world. So we do have an array of options to reach particular members with particular know-hows
Mm.
and reach events. Besides that, when a member is in a forum in India, for example, they will have the opportunity to, if they go to London or to Madrid or to the US, for example, or Singapore, they can bring their case, because sometimes members have cases that involve a situation in another country.
Yeah.
Maybe they're expanding into another
Mm.
country. So they can put in agenda their case in London, for example,
Mm.
and present themselves. My name is this. I'm in this business in India. This is the situation I'm facing in
Mm.
London. I don't know if I should enter London through a partnership, through a JV, or by ourselves. This is the case, and you will have an advisory board in London, a local advisory board that will tell them what they would do if they would be in your shoes.
Amazing. Yeah.
They can put you in contact with someone else.
Mm.
So all the forums, so all these advisory boards around the world are at your disposal as a
Mm.
member in a given country. So you
Mm.
can always go to another country to bring your case and have it processed there, or you can just go to another country to participate in a forum as a regular member and meet local people.
Mm.
So the network is at your
That would be
disposal.
that would be very, very powerful. I mean, this is that I think for the first time I've heard that you, and it's so logical that if I want to expand to London, I can take my case and present it to a forum in London and get
Yeah.
their advice. That's fantastic. My next question is that, and you did talk a little bit about it earlier. What is the criteria to select members, and how will Ref Global ensure balanced diversity across each forum?
Okay, so we have a three-tier approval process to enter a ref group.
Hmm.
The first is that it's by invitation only.
Yeah.
So you need to be invited to enter, and you can be invited by a forum leader, who's a person who builds the group and leads the group in terms of facilitating the forums. You can be invited by that person, or you can be invited by a member
Hmm.
who invites you over to his or her own group or to another group.
Hmm.
So that is tier one. Once you are invited, you need to go through an interview with a forum leader, and the forum leader in that interview confirms
Mm.
that invitation to enter. So that's tier two, the interview with the forum leader, and then tier three, it's the group where you are assigned to. So all members need to approve by unanimity you're entering the group. So
Mm.
that's tier three. So that's the way we filter members through this three-tier process. Um, and so the question was how we
How will we
and
how
how
will we
the
select
diversity.
members?
So we select them by several criteria. One of them being the company, the
Yeah.
size of the company, and the type of company that they have. But not that's not the only criteria.
Mm.
Uh, we are agnostic to age of a member or to the. We usually have medium and large companies
Mm.
and promising smaller companies.
Mm.
Mm, but at the end of the day, it's very personal also.
Mm.
Um, and the diversity, it's the group. So once the group is formed, it's launched. The group is launched usually with around 8 to 10 people. The group takes over on how it's going to be conformed.
Mm.
So the group defines what kind of industries are represented in the group today
Mm.
with the net 10 members, and what other industries they want to bring into the group.
Mm.
So diversity is defined by the group,
Mm.
and people are invited over by members in a group.
Mm.
And we make it a strong point to have groups really look at diversity, because we believe that in diversity that the collective wisdom of a group
Mm.
increases the diversity of the group.
Right.
If we all usually socially, what happens is that we surround ourselves with people who are kind of have the same background as
Correct.
us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is great.
Mm.
But for a forum, we don't necessarily want to do that.
Mm.
We want to form a circle of trust with people who have a different backgrounds in a way, because that would allow us to receive perspectives that are different, and we might be that might uncover blind spots that we have more easily than if we have people who have all the
Correct.
same background.
Correct. Well said. I have time for two more questions for you. What role does trust, confidentiality, and diversity of perspectives play in shaping the forum experience?
Key. That's a one of those things that are non-negotiable in our groups.
Mm.
Confidentiality is absolutely key. Um, what happens when members join a ref forum is that initially they start bringing um, regular business situations, but eventually they as they become more comfortable with the group, they start bringing situations that might be business
Yeah.
related, or even more a little bit on the personal side also, that are very confidential. They're very delicate, and they will only bring them if they have the assurance
Mm.
that it will be kept informed.
Mm.
Um, and even and they all sign like confidentiality agreements. But the real reason why members keep that confidentiality is because of the close relationship that they build with each other.
Yeah.
So eventually they regard having a member, if a member talks outside the group about something that was talked by another member in the group, they see it really as a treason.
Mm.
It is very serious.
Yeah.
Uh, And if any member finds out of someone that someone has talked outside the group about something that was discussed
Mm,
in a group by some other member,
mm.
it's a reason to really they have to exit the not only the group, but they have to exit Rev.
Ref.
And since they become so friends and it becomes a circle of trust, people don't go there.
Mm,
It is very serious, and um, fortunately, we have not had situations where people have breached that confidentiality,
mm.
and that is the way it should happen.
Correct, correct. Wonderful. And my last question for you, Manolo. You've got very well established practices, and I've never seen anything in so much detail with so much micro thinking that has gone into every step. But you operate in 26 different countries where cultures are very different. How do you balance global standards with local culture?
Yeah, it's something that we have to deal with every day. So we have what we call here freedom in a framework.
Hmm.
So we there are some things that are non-negotiable. Um, um, that's a framework. For example, confidentiality is one of them. Our values, the sharing, the lifelong learning, the
Hmm.
holistic view, the open-mindedness. We have our values that are very are non-negotiable. We don't want someone in a group that is not open-minded, for example, right?
Hmm.
That will react negatively to feedback, to well-intentioned feedback by other members.
Hmm.
And we have ways in which the forum leader needs some things that they need to do in order to lead the groups and take them from forming to performing, right? But we are also open to cultural differences
Hmm.
and even within the same within a city, the forum leader the forum leaders have different personalities and different ways of doing things, and we need to be able to uh, to adapt to those, right? When you have it's interesting. You might have the two groups in the same city led by different forum leaders,
Yeah,
and the energy is a little different in
correct.
the two groups. And even you have the same forum leader with two groups,
Hmm.
and there's a different energy because the energy is also set by the group
Yeah,
members. So
yeah.
we are very there. We are open to those cultural differences, but there are some things that are parts of the secret sauce
Correct.
need to be there. And
Absolutely.
it works. We throughout these 35 years, as you can imagine, we've seen many things. We've seen it almost everything.
Hmm.
Not everything, but we've seen it almost we've seen almost everything, and we've learned to be flexible enough to incorporate those different
Hmm.
ways of doing things in different countries.
Wonderful. And one more question. Our conversation will be seen by many, many, many people in India, of course, but around the world. If someone is interested to join, is there a provision on the website ref.global for them to apply?
There is. Each country has a local website. There's the global website, rev.global, and there are local websites by country. And there is a way to apply. And we process all applications locally, and these applications lead to an interview
Yeah.
with a forum leader.
Mm.
And if the forum leader, after that interview, wants to approves, then it will go to the next
Correct.
step in the process. So
Correct.
it's by invitation only, but we also, which are in most cases, it's a member or a forum leader who knows someone. They go to that person, they invite them over.
Mm.
But there's also a process by which a person can apply and can be considered to enter the
Mm.
groups. So we
Wonderful.
have that view.
Thank you. And on that note, Manolo, I just want to say what a fabulous conversation this has been on ref. Every time I speak to you, my understanding of ref forums gets a little deeper and clearer. I think you've given us a very, very good perspective on ref, on forums, and your plans for India. I'm sure we will thrive in India. I'm sure the country will live up to your expectations and will become a very powerful member of the ref network globally. Thank you for
We
speaking to
are,
me and good luck.
thank you, Ashutosh. We're very excited with generating the impact that we generate in other countries in India. We believe India is a powerhouse, a global powerhouse, so we are very excited about this. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.